How's everybody doing today? So, I would like to talk about going to the new year and what 2026 will mean for a lot of us. It's a in numerology, it's year one. It's it's a beginning, and what that means for us is it's time to start a new beginning. When we're going on our spiritual journeys, we have to let go of the things of the past that kept us in bondage, basically. Old mindsets, of course. If you're still stuck in um, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to work hard in order to earn money. You're not basically believing in the universe and the abundance that you can manifest with your thoughts and the belief in God and the universe to give you abundance. Uh, that that thoughts aspect alone limits you from getting it. Thinking that you have to work hard for money. That's this exact opposite of what the reality is. And when we're talking about taking bold action means not living in fear of, oh, I got to work this 20 something dollar an hour job in order to make a living to pay the bills. No, the presence of this is the new beginning, is your mindset is the new beginning, where you realize that you're an infinite spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and all the abundance comes to you through belief and that the power of assumption and the law of attraction and all these other things that we've talked about before, right? If you're still stuck in your old ways, you're pressing the gas, and it's like the engine's got a limiter on it, and you can't get above like 1,000 RPM. You see what I'm saying? You got all that power going all the way up to 8,000 RPM, but you can't get past 1,000. So the car is going like 5 miles an hour when it could be going 100. Right? You get what I'm saying? Like you're not traveling very fast because you're keeping your vibration low by staying with that type of mindset. Also, taking bold action also means like towards your goals. My previous video was I told you I don't really like the term goals, but it means something to us in the term of taking action. That's what goals are, right? You set a plan out and then take action on it. That's a goal. It's just a funny terminology for it, because when you say goal, it's like putting it in the future, and like if you never start it, then that's my goal, but you didn't do anything to get there. So it's like you have the creative idea, but you never manifested it because you didn't take action. That's all that means. So if your goal was, when I talked about New Year's resolution, to get into shape and go to the gym, the consistency is now. So we want to establish that goal discipline into taking action, and the action is believing what those goals are. So if your goal was to start that business, the passion project that you have been working on for the past couple of years, whether it be a regular retail business, or maybe it's something creative like art or music and stuff like that, you need to set things in motion to take action on that now. If that means let go of what you were doing before, like with your job, because you don't have time to do the other, you're doing it. That intention that you're putting in the subconscious mind will give you the means in order to make that happen. So like your bills and stuff, that'll all be taken care of, because the intention is what's important in the new beginnings. The intention to the universe is, you're saying to the universe, I want to make this happen. Now, in order to do that, obviously I need some capital, and I need to not worry about those bills to be paid. So those things will be taken care of. They'll either fall off, or you'll have to make some big changes in your life, depending on where you're at. You may have to move. I'm just giving you some examples, so you're not like surprised by what it is that you need to do. And like moving location is not necessarily the energy of 2026. What I'm saying is, like, in order for you to take action, you kind of got to do what's necessary, which probably means letting go of whatever you were doing before. And if whatever you're doing before is only like a part-time thing and it's not taking too much of your time, then I wouldn't say stress about it so much. But if it's taking 100% of your time, it's like, I don't have time to do it because I'm still doing this. We got to let that go. Even if you don't have any income coming in, gotta let that go, because the intention will bring the prosperity for you. And that's why there's like there's a two energy dynamic for 2026. One is like war, battle, and the other one is God, right? Manifestation. The war is like you're taking action, and the God is like, I'm taking care of this because I'm manifesting the resources in order to supply this battle. I don't want to use like combat terminology, but I'm just using that as an analogy to get it in your minds, that kind of like the wars can't be fought without supplies, and the God is supplying you're with your resources in order to start that business. Is basically what I'm trying to say with that. Now, with that being said, we say, I already started a business, Brandon, or I already started my passion project, and nothing's kind of came out of it. Well, what were you doing before? Did you take massive action? And 2025 wasn't about that. It wasn't about like the fresh start. This year is about the fresh start. Last year was about manifestation. Becoming in line with the manifestation. So you're manifesting what you needed in order to start that passion project going into 2026. Now, everyone's not going to like. It's not like not like a light switch. It's like January 1st, boom, light switch is on. Everything's gradual with energy, but it's not like January 1st, boom, everything's falling into place. No, it takes a little time. It takes some weeks, maybe a month or two. But that's the transition from one energy year to another, and that's what the astrology does. It's like there's like quarter phases throughout the year, whether they call them moon phases, or the alignment of Jupiter and Saturn with Venus, Mars, and all that other stuff. They're like quarter phases, especially with the moon. The moon's like in quarter phases, and even like monthly phases, where you have a full moon every almost every month or whatever. I don't know the exact number because I'm not super detailed in astrology. I just know the concept of the energy dynamics of how it kind of operates and how it affects us with our energies. And going into the age of Aquarius, this is the era of enlightenment. So creating whatever it is you wanted to create, that's part of the Aquarius awakening, because you're creating and not just being a slave to the system. You're creating something and living in abundance. That's the two differences. Yes, people were creating before, but it was only a certain bracket number of individuals that were allowed to create and be prosperous from it, because the predominant, I'm kind of using the screen as a as a graph. 80% that way, work slave, keep the system rolling, and 20% was the creative portion to make the illusion seem real. But now the illusion is breaking apart, and everybody can now create something and live in their passion and live in their prosperity, because that gate is shifted out of the way to the 20% now and 80%. I'm just using the 80-20 as a reference, because obviously 80 means much more than 20%, right? So just to give you an example of it in your head. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. I greatly appreciate you guys watching my videos, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.